Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How many have joined so far? MashaAllah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
عليكم
MashaAllah.
السلام.
MashaAllah. Very big salam there. Someone's enthusiastic and ready to go. MashaAllah. Okay. How many people do we have in the room today? Let's just double check. We have quite a few. Who's going to turn their camera on? So Ibrahim Chowdhury, you turned your camera on, MashaAllah. Who else? It's just me and Ustad Muhib and Ibrahim. And who else? And Hannah Khayar. We shouldn't forget Hannah Khayar, serial viewer. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum, Hannah, you okay? Well done. Well done. We're going to start in a few minutes. Let's just remind you, let's just go through a few things. So we want all participants to have their names nicely written, student, maybe the school you are at and the classroom and whatever it is, but let's not have no nicknames so we don't recognize who we're talking to, okay? You are live on YouTube, by the way, so just keep in mind that it's going to be recorded. So if you're not comfortable, you don't want to see your faces up or your parents don't allow you, you know, you can switch off your cameras, but we'd love you to have your cameras on so we can see the enthusiasm and interest in your face, or we can see when you're nodding off as well. Isn't it, Ustad? So how many more minutes left? 2 minutes, and then we'll start with a special reciter. I'm not going to tell you who it is today. Not going to tell you who it is, but we'll start with a special reciter. How many more people do we have? Let's admit. Amina Patel. Let's admit everyone. So we're up to how many participants is that now? 13, 14, 15, inshallah. So yes, welcome everyone to the story. We're going to continue with the story where we left off from yesterday. And before we start, for all of you taking part, I mean, such fantastic people, we've given you a free ticket to this weekend's family festival. As you can see, the promo code is QST 2023. We're in 2023, guys, and QST stands for Quran Story Time. So I'm going to post the link. Let me post the link in the chat right now. Whoops. Let me post the link in the chat right now. So what you guys can do is you go onto the Eventbrite. There we are. You can click onto the Eventbrite and then you go straight forward to the link and then you put in your promo code. It will drop it down to 0. If you've done it correctly, you should get them for free. If not, then we just take it as you're very charitable, mashallah. But yes, this is an invitation for you guys to come. So please don't waste it. Jazakumullah khairan. We got 1 more minute. So that's the free entry to the Quran story time. Well, for the Quran story time people, for this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 22nd, 23rd, be there from midday. Lots of rides, lots of things to do, lots of activities, lots of food, clothes, abaya, atar, you know, even me, although I'm on the gates, I somehow always find myself getting these things because, mashallah, you know. So please do attend to our family festival this weekend and phone your friends, phone your families, phone everyone. And inshallah, it's 5 past. We're going to start our Quran story time. So we're going to start off as we always do, the recitation of the Quran. We're going to start ourselves with a recitation of the Quran. So we just keep admitting more people, inshallah. And our special reciter today is actually the person who's going to do the story. So who's going to continue for the boy and the king? It's going to be Ustad Mohibur Rahman. He's going to show us and make us listen to his beautiful recitation. Ustad, take it away, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan.
Jazakallahu khairan. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا جزاكم الله خيرا.
Jazakallah khair, Ustad. That was very, very beautiful. I mean, I have the honor of actually working with you, listening to you quite often. So, mashallah. Ustad Muhib is one of our teachers in Al-Noor. He's an Islamic studies teacher, Quran teacher, and does a bit of Arabic with the reception, who, inshallah, next year he'll be teaching my son, which I'm very thrilled about. Jazakallah khairan. So, yeah, Ustad. So it's a special surprise that we don't just have one of the children today, we have an Ustad. So, Ustad, what age did you complete your hifz or maybe embark on your journey with the hifz?
Yeah, my one is a bit of a rare one because a lot of people, they start memorizing or start hifz al-Quran at a very, very young age. But I started at a very late age. And I remember when I was in secondary school and I was in year 10 or year 11, and I started going to the masjid. And one day in the month of Ramadan, there was this new imam that came to our local masjid and he recited so beautifully. And he actually inspired me to start learning the Quran. So I got in touch with the local imam, and that was when I was 15, 16 years old. And I started learning Quran with the local imam. And I said to myself, I want to memorize the Quran like that imam that had beautiful recitation, that recited in the month of Ramadan. So then after secondary school, after completing secondary school, I told my parents, my family, I want to memorize the Quran. And the best way to do it, I think for me, I said to them, is go to boarding school, because I won't be able to do local, going college and then doing hifz. It's too much distraction. I need to be away from all the distraction. So then they sent me to a madrasa in Leicester. It's called Riyadh al-Ulum, and the principal is Sheikh Salim Dorat, a Gujarati Maulana. And I started there when I was 18 years old. And then I had 1 year of learning Tajweed and Quran. I think it was 2 years, learning Tajweed. And so 2 years of learning Tajweed. And by the time I started, I think it was 19 years old when I started Hifz. And then finished when I was around 24. Alhamdulillah, completed Hifz al-Quran when I was 24. Yeah, that's my story of memorizing the Quran.
That's actually a better story than you average. You started off, saying it's not the average, but it's better because you showed self-determination. MashaAllah, Jazakumullah khairan. And I can say, I noticed in the school, you really focus on Tajweed with the kids. MashaAllah, you don't just allow them to rush, or don't let the parents say, can you please finish?
That's
finish.
right, yeah. So, that's because we were taught like that. And we had a very, very strict ustad from India himself. He was very strict with Quran, Tajweed, recitation, reading slowly. And I think that kind of, inspired me, and I want to implement the same thing to my students and to the children that I teach.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Ustad. May Allah make that Quran a hujjah for you and make it illuminate you in the Yawm al-Qiyamah, inshallah. Ameen. Barakallahu feekum. So we're going to move on to the next part, which is the story time. So Ustad's also a Quran teacher and an amazing storyteller. You should be in some of his lessons when he speaks about the Prophet's journey. Amazing, mashallah. Jazakallah khair. So over
Shall we
to you,
start?
Ustad.
Yeah.
Yes, let's start.
Okay. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. You can just give me a minute. So, okay. Right. Share screen. So let me know if it has been shared.
Yes, we can see it.
Yep.
Mashallah.
Struggling to put it on. Oh, there we are. Yeah.
Are
Okay.
we-
Is it full? Is it full screen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's full screen
Yeah,
now. Are
okay.
you doing the whole story starting again, or are you gonna?
No, I'm not going to start from the beginning. This
Okay.
is just the cover of today's story.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm
Okay. All right. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmiddin. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وهدى والتقى وعملا صالحا يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. Okay, so today's story is continuing with the boy and the king. And I will start off by mentioning what we will learn today. We will start by learning about the miracles of Allah, moving on to the cure of the blind person, and then moving on to how Allah saved the boy. Starting off by discussing and talking about the miracles of Allah. Miracles in Arabic is called mu'jizat. Miracles in Arabic is called mu'jizat. And miracles are something that when it happens, when a miracle happens, nobody can explain how it happened. Only Allah knows how it happened. And Allah let it happen. Allah made it happen with His power and His might. So nobody can explain how it happened. No science can explain how it happened. No doctor can explain how it happened. Allah let it happen, and Allah knows how it happened. This is called a mu'jizat. So now let's talk about some of the mu'jizat that happened with other prophets. Peace be upon them all. So here is a picture showing a mu'jiza of Allah, a miracle of Allah. Who can guess which prophet, who can guess this miracle happened with which prophet? So if you can put your hand up, and then maybe Ustad Farid can choose somebody.
Yes, Abu Bakr Umar. Let's ask to unmute. You raise your hands. Abu Bakr Umar?
Yes, Abu Bakr, go ahead. Which prophet is this picture talking about?
Musa alayhi salam.
Yes, that's right, Musa alayhi salam. Do you
Inshallah.
remember what happened? What is this miracle?
He threw the stick to the ground and he led a path through the sea.
Excellent, mashallah. The sea split into two and made a nice pathway for Prophet Musa and the Bani Israel. And that was a miracle of Allah. Next picture, I'm going to show you. And if somebody can put their hand up and tell me which prophet this was. So here is a fire, and somebody was thrown into the fire and nothing happened. Which prophet was that? Mr. Faris can choose. Mr. Faris, can you choose a child to answer this question?
Jannah. Jannah Hassan, I believe she's one of your students. You want to answer?
Jannah Hassan, go ahead. Which prophet was this?
Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam.
That's right. Can you tell us what happened?
So he knocked down all their idols and they got really angry, so they threw him into the fire.
That's right. They threw him into the fire, and then he came out the fire, he was in there for days until the fire was gone. He came out alive. Nothing happened to him, and everybody was shocked. This was a miracle of Allah protecting these prophets and Allah saving them. Which prophet is this picture about?
I'll ask Miriam Namazi to undo her. Miriam Namazi.
Which prophet is this picture about?
Prophet Yunus.
That's right. Can you tell us what happened quickly?
He didn't, because his people didn't follow him, he went into the ship and Allah told him to go into the ocean and a whale swallowed him.
That's right, yeah. The Prophet Yunus, he made dua, and then the whale vomited him out, and then he was saved and he was alive. And this is how Prophet Yunus was saved by Allah. The next picture, if somebody can tell us, everyone should know this one.
Ibrahim Chowdhury.
Yeah.
Ibrahim Chowdhury, you can go.
This was when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went from Mecca to the seventh skies.
Yeah, from Mecca to Masjid al-Aqsa first, and then from Masjid al-Aqsa he went to the seven heavens, and then he met Allah. And that was a story of the Isra wal Mi'raj, and I did do a lesson, a story time on Isra wal Mi'raj. All right, now moving on to the story about the boy and the king. So the reason why I talked about this just now, these are the mu'jizat of Allah. These are the miracles of Allah: splitting of the sea, Prophet Ibrahim coming out of the fire, Yunus alayhi salam in the belly of the whale, and the Isra wal Mi'raj with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. These are miracles of Allah, how Allah protected and saved these prophets. So the boy and the king, continuing from the story, when a companion of the king, so there was a person who used to work for the king who had become blind. So this companion, this friend, or this person who worked for the king, he became blind. He was blind. He heard about this boy that was curing people. So do you remember when Allah guided the boy, and then the boy was curing the sick people? And then this companion of the king, he heard about this boy and he thought, let me go to this boy and see if he can bring my eyesight back, if he can cure me. So he went to the boy and he said, oh boy, I heard that you've been curing people. I am blind. Would you be able to cure me and give my eyesight back? So then the boy replied, listen to this reply, it's very important. He said to the king's friend, he said that I want you to remember that if your eyesight comes back, it's not me that brings the eyesight back. It is Allah that will bring your eyesight back. Only Allah can give you shifa, can give you cure. There is no shifa except Allah's shifa. So if you believe that, then inshallah your eyesight will come back. And that was the condition that the companion of the king had to show. So he said, of course, he said to the boy, okay, I will believe that Allah will cure me. So then the boy just touched the man who was blind, and then suddenly the man was able to see. He was not blind anymore. And he was so happy. And then he believed in his heart that only Allah gave his eyesight back. No one else, not even the boy. It was Allah that gave his eyesight back. So he believed that, and then he went back to the king. So when he went back to the king, because he works for the king, so he went back to the king, and one day he was sitting next to the king, and then the king realized that his companion is not blind anymore. He realized that his companion can see. Subhanallah. And he was shocked, and he was so surprised. And he said, hang on a minute, can you see? You were blind as long as I've known you, you've been blind. But now you can see. How comes? Who cured you? Who gave you your eyesight back? And then the companion, he stood up and he said to the king, he said, Allah cured me. So he did listen to the boy. So he said to the king, Allah cured me. Allah gave me my eyesight back. And the king, he got angry, and he showed a frown face, and he said, Allah? Who is this Allah you're talking about? Because the king, he thought he was Allah. He thought he had the same attributes and the characters of Allah. He thought that he was the most powerful and he was the most mighty. So then when he heard that Allah cured him, he got angry. And he said, where did you learn this from? The king asked the companion. And then the companion was not saying anything. So the king got his guards and started torturing him, until he couldn't bear the torture anymore, the companion. And he said, oh, there was a boy, stop torturing me no more. I don't want to be tortured anymore. It's too painful. I'll tell you who told me about all of this. So he told the king about the boy. So the king, he ordered the soldiers to bring this boy. So then the soldiers, they found the boy. And then the boy came to the king. So the boy was then summoned. And the king said to him, oh boy, it has been conveyed to me that you have become so proficient in your magic that you heal the blind and those suffering from leprosy, and you do such and such things. So the king said, I've heard, oh you boy, I've heard that you've been curing people. You've been curing the blind, you've been curing the sick people. Is that true? So then the boy said, he said the same thing what he said to the companion of the king. He said, no, it's not me. I'm not the one that cures people. It is Allah who gives shifa to people. It is Allah who gave the eyesight back to that blind person. It is Allah that gave cure to those sick people, not me. So the king took hold of him. He grabbed him and he said, who told you about Allah? Who told you about this Allah? Tell us. So then the boy was worried about if he tells the king about the monk or the religious man that he was learning about Allah from. He was worried and afraid that the king might torture him and treat him really badly. So then he wasn't saying the monk's name. He didn't say to the king anything. So then the king started to torture him and trying to force him to tell him who this person was. So then finally, the boy told the king he couldn't take it anymore. And then he told the king who was telling him about Allah. So then the soldiers, they grabbed this monk, this religious man. And then this religious man came. So this religious man came. And then the king was asking the religious man about Allah. And then the monk said, yes, you are not Allah. Allah is above everything, and he created everything, and he created you, and he created me. And he is the one that gives shifa. So then the king got really angry and started torturing him really badly. And then he decided to kill the boy. So he killed the monk. He killed the religious man. Was he a good king? No. He was an evil king. I'm sure you remember some other evil kings like Fir'aun. Yeah. So he was just like that. So then now he ordered the soldiers to kill the boy. The king said, soldiers, grab him and take him to the top of the mountain and then throw him off the mountain. SubhanAllah. So then the soldiers, they grabbed him and they took the boy to the top of the mountain. So they climbed the top of the mountain until they reached right at the top of the mountain. And I'm sure everyone here knows what a mountain is. A mountain is really, really high. And I've been mountain climbing and it's really high. It is really hard to climb a mountain. So once they got to the top of the mountain, the boy started to make dua. And he asked Allah to help him and save him. As soon as he asked Allah to help him, the mountain started to shake. The mountain started to shake like it was an earthquake. And then when the mountain started to shake, the soldiers, they fell down the mountain. They themselves fell off the mountain and then they died. And the boy was still on top of the mountain, all safe. Nothing happened to him. Subhanallah. Who saved him? Allah. So this is a miracle of Allah. So then the boy came down the mountain and he went back to his town and then he went back to the king. And when the king saw him, the king got even more cross. He went, huh? Why are you still alive? How are you still alive? You should be dead. So then the boy, he said to the king, you can't kill me. Allah is saving me. Allah is protecting me. And when the boy was saying all of this about Allah, the king was getting even more angry because he didn't like it. So then he told the soldiers to grab him and take him on the boat. And he said to the soldiers, take him to the boat and sail away far, far, far away. And take him to the middle of the ocean as far as you can. And throw him off the boat so he can drown and die. So then the soldiers, they grabbed him. They took the boy to the boat and they sailed away and away and away. And off they went far, far, far away until they could not see no land and nobody around. And it was just water, like the middle of the ocean. And then as the soldiers were about to grab him and throw him off the boat, the boy started to ask Allah for help. And then Allah made the water so wavy. It was so wavy, it made the boat rock so much. It was rocking so much that the soldiers, they couldn't stay in the boat while they were trying to hold on to the boat, but it was so hard for them to stay in the boat and hold on to something. Eventually, they fell off the boat. So all the soldiers who tried to throw the boy off the boat, they were thrown off the boat. The soldiers, they flew off the boat because of the excessive rockiness of the boat. The boat was rocking so much, the soldiers fell off the boat. And then they themselves drowned and they died. And the boy was still in the boat. He was safe. Nothing happened to him. and then the wave stopped, and then the water started to become calm again. And nothing happened to the boy. Who saved him? Allah saved him. Allah protected him. So then the boat sailed back to the town, and then the boy went back to the king, and then the king got even more shocked. And he said, "Oh, how comes you're still alive?" And he got more angry, and he was shouting at the boy, and the boy was saying, "You can't kill me, I told you. Allah is protecting me. He's the most powerful." So how did, or why did Allah protect this boy and save this boy? Because this boy had something called tawakkul ala Allah. He had trust in Allah. He trusted Allah that Allah will save him and Allah will protect him. His iman was 100%. His tawakkul was 100% to the highest level. Subhanallah. How can we get this level of tawakkul? I want this level of tawakkul. I want to be saved by Allah like that. If I am in trouble anytime, if anytime that I am in trouble, I want Allah to save me and protect me. How can I get this from Allah? Or how can we get this from Allah? This is what we're going to learn in the final stage of this story. So the way we can get help and protection from Allah like this is to have tawakkul. And the way to have tawakkul, number one, is to make dua. Remember the boy? What did he do? He made dua. And do you remember there was, I think, I'm not sure if you remember or did the story of the Battle of Badr during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when during the battle of, before the Battle of Badr started, Prophet Muhammad, he made so much dua. And then Abu Bakr, he came and he said, "Enough, Ya Rasulullah. The help of Allah has come." Because everybody can see, a lot of people, they saw the angels coming down to help them in the Battle of Badr. That's a miracle of Allah. That's a mu'jiza of Allah. So anytime that we need help from Allah, it could be anything. Help in our exams, help us when we're in trouble with anything, money problems, ask Allah for help. Make dua to Allah sincerely, like you really mean it. That's number one. Number two, pray your 5 daily prayers. Always make sure. If you want to be like that boy, the story from the boy and the king, if you want to be like that boy, have tawakkul like the boy, have iman like the boy, pray your 5 daily prayers on time. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said the best good deed is prayer on time. And Allah said, "Inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta." He said, all of the salah that I have prescribed for you, I have prescribed for on a specific time. So you must pray your prayers. We must pray our 5 daily prayers on time. Fajr on time. I know it's really hard to wake up really early, but try to pray Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Okay. And Isha, if it gets too late, you can pray Maghrib and Isha together. Those children who have to wake up early to go to school. Sabr is the third one. Be patient. Be patient when something happens in your life. So you wanted something, but you didn't get it. It doesn't mean you start becoming angry and start crying all day. Be patient, have sabr. This is how we can get tawakkul. And this is how we can be like the boy. Gratitude. Man la yashkurun nas la yashkurullah, the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, the one who doesn't thank Allah, thank people, doesn't thank Allah. And then Allah said, La in shakartum la azidannakum. The more you show gratitude, the more Allah will give you. So make sure you say thank you to people and make sure you say thank you to Allah. When can we say thank you to people? When people gives us things. If somebody gives you something and you don't like it, that's a very good example. Sometimes we get something from people and we don't like it. Like our uncle, our auntie, our friends or cousins, they gave us something like a gift, but you're not really fond of it, you don't really like it. Does that mean you say, oh, I don't like that? No, we still say thank you, even if you don't like it. Pretend you don't like it. That is showing gratitude to people. And if anyone does anything nice for you, make sure you say thank you to them. Oh, thank you for doing that for me. I really appreciate it. And make sure you say thank you to Allah when you make dua. Say, oh Allah, don't just ask for things. In your dua, ask Allah, tell Allah that, oh Allah, thank you for giving me these clothes. Thank you for giving me this food. Thank you for giving me this and that. Say thank you for everything that you are thankful for. Okay. The next thing is doing adhkar in the morning and in the evening, and doing adhkar after salah. Those children who go to Al-Noor after dhuhr, after salah, what do? We do adhkar, don't we? So don't miss out on that. Don't, after salah, when everybody is doing adhkar, don't just keep your mouths closed like that. Do your adhkar after salah. Do your adhkar in the morning and evening. If you don't know them, learn them. Learn one dua at a time. One dua, take a week to learn one dua, or a month, it doesn't matter. It's a stepping stone on learning the daily adhkar. Have good opinion of Allah. What does that mean? Sometimes something bad happens, and what do we say? What do? We complain to Allah. We moan to Allah. Oh Allah, why did you let this happen? Because what does our Iman teach us? Our Iman teaches us from the 6 pillars of Iman, there is Qadr. The 6th one is Qadr. To believe that anything that happens, good or bad, Allah makes it happen. So then you think, oh, this bad thing happened, or Allah made this happen, or Allah, why did you let this happen for? And then you start complaining, you start moaning to people about it. No, that's not having good opinion of Allah. Allah, everything that He does is good for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا عَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Allah says in the Quran, He says that sometimes good things happen to you, that could be something bad. But sometimes when something bad happens, maybe that is good for you. So anything that happens, good or bad, always have good opinion of Allah. When bad things happen, have sabr and tell Allah what happened, and tell Allah how you feel, and ask Allah how to make it better. That is the best way to go forward. And that's the end of my story, and that's the end of me explaining about how to have tawakkul like that boy. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك يا رب العالمين.
Jazakallah khair, Ustad Muhib, mashallah. Entertaining story, do we? Mashallah. Put it there.
Jazakallah. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
I think they did. I mean, maybe we take 2 questions before, 2 or 3 questions, maybe few minutes of questions, because
Yes, go ahead, yeah.
there's a lot to digest there, and the characteristics that you wanted us to have, mashallah, very well summarized. I really enjoyed that. Jazakallah khair. Is there any questions? We have hands up. Who put their hands up first? We have Abu Bakr, or is your hand just up as you've had it up quite? Okay, Abu Bakr, you can ask the question, inshallah. Are you okay? Do you want to go for it? Or are you just going to adjust the camera? Is there anyone else who wants to ask or start a question whilst we've
Any questions, anyone?
Okay.
Abu Bakr speaking, but we just can't hear him. Type it in the chat if you need to. Sorry?
We can speak.
Okay, go ahead. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair.
Is there any other miracles?
Oh, there are many miracles that Allah has done with the prophets. There are miracles that happen with Prophet Saleh, when there was a camel that just came out of the mountain. How did that happen? The camel just appeared. There were so many other miracles that happened with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah. So maybe what you can do is do some research on miracles of Allah. Maybe you can Google it, but with the supervision of your parents. Okay? Don't Google it yourself.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Abu Bakr. Anyone else before we go into one of our favorite parts of the day? The quiz. 5 seconds or forever hold your peace, guys. Okay. Jazakumullah khairan. We're going to go into our part, the quiz. Now, I know there was a bit of mishap yesterday, so let's see if it's been sorted out now. Let's just see. Let's go to the polls and we'll make sure everything is fine before we go. All right. What's happened there? Okay, there we are. So day 2, the polls. Are we ready, guys? Give your fingers a bit of a stretch, or whatever you're going to use. MashaAllah. Let's launch the first question. Day 2, question 1. Let's see who's been paying attention. What miracle did the boy start to perform with the permission of Allah amongst people? Is it A, curing the blind and seriously ill, B, walking on water, C, splitting the moon, or D, parting the sea? So what miracle did the boy start to perform with the permission of Allah amongst the people? Curing the blind and seriously ill, A, B, walking on water, C, splitting the moon, or D, parting the sea? How many people? Oh, we've got 19 out of the 22. Let's see if we can get 20. No? Oh, I'm going to end the quiz right there. Let's end the poll. 3, 2, 1, end the poll. And we'll share the results. We'll start.
Yes.
19
that
out
is
of
correct.
20.
Yeah, it is A. Brilliant. MashaAllah.
Might be our first, if I recall correctly, 100% where people took it so seriously. MashaAllah. Well done, children.
Excellent.
Let's go to question 2. Who did the boy cure which greatly upset the king? A, the queen, B, the governor, C, the prince, D, the joker in the court. Was it A, the queen, B, the governor, C, the prince, D, the joker in the court? So who did the boy cure which greatly upset the king? So I did go to this part about the king, being upset because he cured a particular person. We'll give it 5 more seconds. We had 19 answers last time. We've only got 15 now. Are we thinking? Which means you guys were, trying to make sure you don't make a mistake. One more person to answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's end the poll. Share the results. They went with B, Ustad. 82%.
Yeah, it was the governor. I didn't use the word governor, yes, but I used the word companion, but very similar to the word governor, yes.
MashaAllah.
He was working for the king, remember? And that is a governor.
MashaAllah. All right, we'll go on to the third question of the day. Let's launch. Why was the king very angry? Was it A, the governor described being cured by his lord, and the king believed he was the only lord? B, the king preferred people remain sick and blind? C, the king was generally a bad-tempered and angry man? D, the king was oppressive by nature? So why was the king angry, children? Think about what Ustad says. A, the governor described being cured by his lord, and the king believed he was the only lord. B, the king preferred people remain sick and blind? C, the king was generally a bad-tempered, angry man? Or D, the king was oppressive by nature? So we've got 16 out of the 23 have answered. Let's get up to at least the 18. We don't want to be dropping numbers all the time.
Some of the answers are quite funny.
Yeah, I think you guys were more focused. Okay, let's end the poll now, inshallah. We've got 19, mashallah. Let's end the poll.
Wow, mashallah.
Share the result. 18 out of 19. The king was oppressive by nature. I see why one person may think that, because naturally, thinking that you are your lord, is a very oppressive thing. You know, Allah does says that is the biggest dhulm.
Yes.
So let's stop sharing. And we'll launch the fourth question. What did the king decide to do with the boy? Was it A, execute him, B, bring him into the royal court, C, make him the royal teacher, or D, honor him with gifts? So what did the king decide to do to the boy after he found this? A, execute him, B, bring him into the royal court, C, make him a royal teacher, or D, honor him with gifts? What do you guys think it is? I think Ustad was very clear on the king and his thoughts and what he thought about this boy. We'll give you a few more seconds. 18 out of 23. There's a 19th person want to answer. There we go. We'll end the poll right now. No one else? And we'll share the results. They went with A, Ustad. 18 out of 19 with
yes,
A.
That's right. You're all right. A. It is A. Yes.
And again, B, I see why, because he brought him in front of him. But ultimately, he wanted to execute the boy in very harsh and wicked ways.
Well done, guys.
And the last question of the day, let's make sure we get this correct. Think carefully. Every time Allah saved the boy from the king's attempts to kill him, what happened? Was it A, more and more people accepted Islam, B, the king became humble and accepted Islam, C, the boy became frightened and gave up his religion, or D, the king gave up and left the boy to preach in his land? What was that? Every time Allah saved the boy from the king's attempts to kill him, what happened, guys? Was it A, more and more people accepted Islam, B, the king became humbled and accepted Islam, C, the boy became frightened and gave up his religion, D, the king gave up and left the boy to preach in his land?
Tricky one. I didn't mention that, and this is gonna just cover it up, mop up the thing that I missed.
Okay, we're going to end the poll right now. We've got 20 people who've done it this time. So let's end the poll and launch. So 55% went was with more and more people accepted Islam. 40% when the king gave up and left the boy to preach in his land. And 1% went with the boy became frightened and gave up his religion. I think there was a mistake on C, but maybe some people might have been confused by D. Ustad.
Yes, it's A. More and more people accepted Islam.
Absolutely.
When the boy was coming back alive,
yes,
people of his town, they were shocked as well. And then they start, oh, look, the boy, Allah saved him, he was right. So they started to become Muslims.
I'm curious to the reason as to why maybe people thought D. Maybe they got confused somewhere in the story of the king, you know, thinking, oh, it's useless. But no,
because we didn't finish the book. Yes, that's right.
And that's where Ashab al-Ukhdud came from.
Yeah.
One of the narrations of it. But yes, Jazakumullah khairan. Let's stop sharing right there. And that's all 5 polls for today. But let's go back to the slides where we promote and we say thank you to everyone for taking part in today's Quran story time. And remember, let me drop in the link. One more thing again. Here is the Eventbrite link. So you click on this link, you go to Eventbrite, the Al-Noor Family Festival will come up. You enter the code. The discount code is QST 2023. So QST 2023 is the discount code. And that will bring it from £3 right down to 0. And of course, then you can come and you can spend as much time in the rides and the food and everything you want. Ustad, what is your favorite part about the family festival? What's your favorite ride? What's your favorite?
For me, I'll be honest. It's the barbecues and the burgers.
Ustad, who doesn't? One year they had what's it called? Slow roasted beef. It was beautiful. And last year they had the ghost burgers. The ghost burgers was something else, Ustad. MashaAllah. And then Shah was there with the rice and the meat and the mix. Let's stop, Ustad, before we go over the top. Some people might be thinking these guys are, you know, we're foodies. But that's for you. There's bumper cars, there's a spinny thing, there's face painting, there's stalls you can help out. And of course, Al-Noor's putting all this on you're more than welcome to go to Al-Noor's page, read more about the Al-Noor Foundation, make contributions, but we want to see you all there this Saturday and this Sunday. Be there, be present, and be happy. And do all the things you can. It's your moment, children. So Jazakumullah khairan. Now to your other favorite part of the day. We're going to take everyone off mute. We're going to, and they're all going to say salam to us. Everyone's going to say assalamu alaikum. Ismail Suleiman, you're off you already, very early. With Loserpool as your name. Okay. Everyone come off mute.
Assalamu alaikum.
Abu Bakr, Ismail, Suleiman,
Assalamualaikum.
Rus.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Sophia, Rahid. Oh, you're here, Sophia. Where's your little baby sister? Is she treating you nicely? Hafsa. Hisham, mashallah. Sapu, Saleha, mashallah. Hope you all enjoyed it. Amina.
Assalamu alaikum, Hisham Babu.
Aisha Nazir, mashallah.
Hey Aisha. Very happy to see
How's your
you.
sister? Is she with you? Are you not in his class today? Oh, assalamu alaikum. And where's the babies? Where's the little girls? Are they okay?
Oh, they're so cute, Ustad.
I
MashaAllah.
need to remind me to. Oh, there's the cute baby.
Allahumma
Mashallah.
barik.
Anyone else? Hisham Qureshi. All right. And that's it. That's everyone, I think. Harun Butt.